Revolutionary greetings, comrades. It's a red Sunday, the 29th of June, 2025. Some years back, the African leaders did pioneer what they called African solutions to African problems. It was because the African leaders believed that we should not be going to the West to resolve our conflicts. And the AU, African Union, in one of its themes, said silencing the guns in Africa when President Cyril Ramaphosa was the chairperson of the AU. The guns are not silent. We have seen in the end just the last week, today is the first day of the week, just last week, we have seen the political leadership of the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda going to sign a peace agreement in Washington, D.C. This is said. Democratic Republic of Congo, Rwanda, members of SADC, DRC is a member of SADC, and Rwanda is a member of the East African Community. These two bodies have been trying to bring about peace in the Democratic Republic of Congo, in the eastern side, where Rwanda has been supporting M23. The African Union, AU, stepped in as well to try and find a solution to the problems in the Democratic Republic of Congo. What happens? Then the United States, under the Donald Trump administration, because they want minerals driven by mineral interests, or to put it correctly, economic interests in the DRC, now want to be seen as the champions of peace. They want to be paraded as the people that have finally resolved the conflict in the Democratic Republic of Congo. It was said when I watched a lady who said she's a journalist from DRC when was speaking to Donald Trump at the Oval Office, singing praises of Donald Trump, passing a message to him that the president of DRC wants to nominate Donald Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize because they regard Donald Trump as a peacemaker. This is indeed said. The simple thing that the journalist and the president of DRC, they do not understand is that Donald Trump, the president of the United States, and the rest of the Western world are behind the conflict, the war in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Not only in the Democratic Republic of Congo, all over Africa, together with their friends all over Africa, because they want to exploit our minerals in Africa. Then they come, they cause the war, they want minerals, then they come in the name of peace to say, no, many people have died. Let us have peace. But this peace is an exchange of diamonds because it's about giving them the right to exploit the minerals in Africa and in the DRC in particular, without competition from anyone. That is the basis for peace. But the president in the DRC doesn't see this. You remember in 1998, which we have been talking about in this platform, that Rwanda and Uganda were used by America as proxies in the Congo War. when the late President Laurent Kabila had to renegotiate mining rights in the DRC, because President Kabila was saying, Desiree Kabila was saying, the people of Congo must benefit from the mineral resources in Congo. Then Rwanda was used and Uganda as proxies to drive out President Kabila and his government. It was the late President Robert Mugabe of Zimbabwe that intervened militarily and the other SADC leaders. Mugabe at the time was the chairperson of the organ on peace and security in SADC. That then resulted later on in 2001 in sanctions being imposed on Zimbabwe. We know Zidera. Many people think that sanctions were imposed because of the land occupation, or what was called land invasions, which ZANU-PF and others called the land revolution. So the basis of the economic sanctions in Zimbabwe by the United States of America was because of the military intervention by Mugabe in DRC to drive out Rwanda and the Uganda forces from capturing Kinshasa. So the peace process, or the peace agreement that has been signed, is about giving uninterrupted access to the minerals of DRC. Donald Trump and the American government, they do not love the people of Democratic Republic of Congo. They are driven by economic interests. The imperialist forces murdered Patrice Lumumba because Comrade Patrice Lumumba did not agree to a neo-colonial state. He wanted the minerals to be in the hands of the people of Congo. Then they brought in their puppet, Mobutu Sese Seko. And Mobutu Sese Seko thought that the Americans and the rest of the imperialist forces loved him. When they realized that time was up for him, they did not protect him. He died in exile. His handlers abandoned him. Just like Mugabe. When ZANU gets created by imperialist forces in 1963, because ZAP was an alliance or was supported by the Soviet Union, they saw ZANU and Mugabe as the better devil, if I were to use this phrase. But when Mugabe sent the Zimbabwean military to Congo in 1998, the imperialists turned against him. So African solutions to African problems will not happen as long as we have leaders in the continent who want a red carpet to be rolled out for them by the leaders of the West. They will always run to the West, as they have done. They have no interest, these leaders, interest of their own people. They are simply protecting their economic managers of the imperialist forces. as a Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels noted in the Communist Manifesto, that post-liberation, the new political leadership, they are just the managers. They manage the economic affairs of our former colonizers. This is why it is critical that we must dismantle neocolonialism if we are to develop Africa. The exploitation of our minerals results in what one comrade was insulting me now, saying, go and talk about Zimbabwe. The exploitation of our minerals has resulted in the destruction of our economies, which has seen migration to developed economies. In the case of Africa, migration to South Africa, to Botswana, to Namibia, and then the rest of the globe. Africans die in the seas trying to get to Europe. People die along the Limpopo River trying to get to South Africa. Why is it so? It's because our African leaders have not understood that the struggle was never about what is called Western democracy. The struggle has been total liberation. And we can only proclaim to be free if our economy in the continent is in the hands of the people, not in the hands of the imperialist forces. Let's continue to engage, comrades, because it's disheartening that in 2025, you have leaders that go to Washington to sign a peace agreement on a conflict that is in the African continent. Please write your views in the comment section. If you are new here, comrades, kindly subscribe. Please like this video. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Amandla, Red Salute, comrades.